You love enchiladas, and you love quiche and pie and savory yumminess? Well, this recipe is for you. This is an enchilada pie from a restaurant cookbook in the 1980s. Hello, my name is Trista and I am the vintage cookbook nerd, and I am here to take you on a culinary adventure with this delicious chicken enchilada pie. I changed up the recipe a little bit, so come and check out the book, the recipe, all the steps in between, and a family tasting of this delicious classic dish. So let's get into the book where this enchilada pie comes from. It's Collectibles by Mary Pittman. It says gathered by, and she had a restaurant called the Tea House in Van Alstyne, Texas, and it opened in November of 1978. This book is from 1980, 1981, I think. And unfortunately, I don't think this business still exists, but they had lunch only 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, April until Christmas. So really interesting business. And we're gonna make her very own enchilada pie. And I'm gonna make a few tweaks to this, and I'll get right into the recipe to show you what we are doing. I just wanna show you a quick sneak peek of this delicious sauce. Check that out. Looks super yummy. So here we have one tweak that I've made. I made a homemade pie shell, and I put it in the freezer for about half an hour or so, and I pricked the bottom of this. I will leave the recipe to the pie shell I use. It's from an old Kentucky cookbook from the 50s, I think it is, or 1949, I think, that Kentucky cookbook. But we are going to, what she says, precondition or blind bake this crust. You can also buy crust. This pie was originally making 2 pies at one time, but we're just gonna make one. So I like to put foil here and then put pie weights, but you can also put beans or rice or anything else to weigh it down. And then I have the oven at 400 degrees, and then we're gonna put it in for a total of 15 minutes. I'm gonna probably put it for 7 or 8 minutes with the weights in and 7 or 8 minutes with the weights out. And then after we get the pile assembled, it'll go back in the oven, but this kind of makes sure the crust is cooked a bit on the bottom first. All right, we'll be back in a moment. So we're gonna get ready to get the filling done. And first we're gonna saute some onions. So the original recipe said saute them in a little bit of margarine, but I am using olive oil here. We're gonna saute those up. And another change is that it originally called for ground beef for both of the pies. It would make 2 identical pies, but I'm just gonna be making one. I will include the original and then my tweaks to it. But what I did is I baked and shredded some chicken. It's still nice and juicy. So it's 2 chicken breasts, boneless, skinless, cut into fairly large chunks each, and then I toss them in olive oil and bake them in the oven at 375 for about 15 minutes. And that way they're nice and done. I always check the middle to make sure they're done all the way through, but then you can shred them, and I will be incorporating them into this mixture once we get these sauteed. And then I also made my own enchilada sauce. I will put the link to that sauce recipe It's not, I should say, I made it from scratch. It's not my own recipe, but I will link to it down below, or you can use a jarred or canned sauce. There is absolutely no shame in that. I just had the ingredients and felt like doing that. So anyways, I'm gonna come back in a couple minutes when these are a little more sauteed, and then we'll get going on putting together the rest of the filling while the pie shell is in the oven. All right, these onions are sauteing up really nicely. So now we're gonna get on with the rest of the recipe. We have about a tablespoon of flour here. Just, oh shoot, that stuck a little bit to the bottom. Just all-purpose flour to kind of thicken this up a little bit. So we want to stir that around, and normally we would add the ground beef, just raw ground beef to this and saute it and cook it, but we are not adding that today. So we are going to add the enchilada sauce. I'm gonna add, oh shoot, has a little bit of a mess there. I will clean that up in a moment. It will be okay. I'm gonna add about half of this sauce since I'm just making the one pie. I'm gonna take that off the heat in just a moment here. Don't mind that. We will put the chicken in, and then this is a 7-ounce can of chilies. It calls for just a small one, but I really like these, so I'm adding in extra. You can add however many you want. And then we're gonna simmer that for about, it says about 15 minutes. So it'll kind of thicken up and be a delicious part of this enchilada pie. So I'm gonna take a moment to clean up this mess before I get this back on the stove, but I will be back to show you how to assemble the rest of this yummy pie before we get it in the oven. Now it's time to assemble this delicious tamale pie. So our crust is pre-cooked a little bit in the oven, and then I let it cool down, and we're gonna add some sharp cheddar cheese to the bottom. Normally this recipe says 1 cup per pie. Again, it was for 2 pies here, but I'm just putting half a cup because our son is not super into cheese, so just a little bit I think he can tolerate in the bottom. And then after that, we're gonna cover the cheese with 2 beaten eggs here. And I'm gonna kind of swirl that around. It's almost like a chile relleno or something on the bottom. Reminds me of. Okay, so now we're gonna ladle in that yummy chicken enchilada mixture, or if you did beef, that works great too. So I'm gonna see how far I'm gonna fill this. If there's extra filling left over, that's totally fine. You can use it for burritos, you know, quesadillas, anything you want. But I think this will be just about perfect. It's filling the pie shell really well. This is gonna be so yummy for dinner. This is kind of like an enchilada quiche when you think about it. So really interesting, right? So I'm excited to see how this bakes up. And it's interesting also that I've seen other recipes for this type of dish, but they normally are kind of layered like a tortilla lasagna or something, but there's no tortillas or corn in here. So that's another unique factor. So we're gonna put 2 more beaten eggs on top. I did 2 bowls, so I had them divided. So that gets swirled on top here. And then this goes into the oven. I turned it down to 350 degrees. And that's gonna be in there for about 30 or 40 minutes. The recipe says 40. I'm gonna check it at 30 and see how it's doing. And then we will return to see what it looks like, and stay tuned for the family tasting. A little sneak peek of this delicious enchilada pie coming along. Looking good. We're here to try the enchilada pie. We're each gonna take bites from this.
It looks really good.
Yes.
It smells delicious. It smells like kind of like chili and enchilada.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay.
Adam, you're first.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Is it very spicy?
No.
Okay.
I made my own enchilada sauce to go in it, and it has like chili powder and green chilies, but
Yeah, it's good.
I'm glad you like it.
I'm approved.
Awesome. Yay. What do you think?
The filling's actually kind of like a nice chicken chili. And you know,
This is good.
with the stuff on top to kind of hold it together, it's kind of like chili pie. It's
It
delicious.
really is, yeah, like a chili pie.
When you get super big and famous on YouTube, someone's gonna make a compilation of every recipe that's been Adam approved.
Woohoo! I love it. Yeah, there'll be a Adam approved reel.
Yeah.
Oh, but we gotta get the crust in there too.
Oh yeah.
I like it with the crust.
Oh yeah. I think it's really unique because all the other recipes I've seen for this have kind of tortilla layers, but this is the only one with the pie crust, so.
It's
super
kind of like
good.
dare I say it, like a enchilada pot pie.
Oh yeah,
Totally is,
exactly.
yeah.
That's really good.
Slightly, tiny bit of quiche, not much because of the eggs.
Yeah, I feel like the eggs on top, maybe just to help hold it together,
I think it's
Yeah,
just,
it's quite nice.
holding together mechanism.
but
Fantastic.
it's
Woohoo.
good.
We'll
Big
have
fan.
some more for dinner. Enjoy, guys. Try the recipe.